Alright guys, we are heading back to 1974 where total football was born, and we're looking at Rinus Michels 1974 Dutch side, a tremendous side that got all the way to the final, obviously lost to Germany. Now we're going to break down the tactic. This tactic has worked sensationally well. I have just guided Netherlands to the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. We've just won that as a little bit of a playthrough. We'll show you some highlights. Tactic links, as always, down in the description, and make sure you smash a like on today's video. And for weekly tactical recreations, please subscribe to the channel. All right, let's get into the coach of the century, by the way. Rinus Michels was voted coach of the century by FIFA in 1999. Let's go check out his iconic tactic. Let's go. Okay, so as you can see, it is a 4-3-3. Now, what is total football? What are we trying to create with this tactic? Okay, so we're looking at pressing opponents with a high intensity, interchangeable and rotation of positions. Players need to have a high level of physical ability, and everybody contributing to the attacking phase, including the sweeper keeper. This is, I think, where pretty much a sweeper keeper was born. So in the 74 World Cup, Michels went for young blood, not the greatest of goalkeepers. However, he was a lot better than the other goalkeepers in the squad with his feet. So he was put in as the first phase of attacks. Right, moving on to the wing-back, we've got Suburbia. Dumfries is playing this role for just a standard wing-back on support. And then we've got two ball-playing defenders. This in here was Reisenbergen and Hahn. Now, Harry Hahn was a central midfielder converted by Michels into central defence. So we've got him on stopper just so he can go forward a little bit. He was more of the one that would step out. Obviously, we can't do a libero because we're playing a back four, but I've tried to kind of recreate a libero when I could here. So nothing on the ball-playing defender instructions. However, on the stopper instructions, we've got dribble more just to encourage him moving up the park. And then on the left-hand side, complete wing-back. It doesn't suit Daley Blind, obviously, because he's quite a conservative kind of left-back. Likes to pass the ball into midfield rather than take it. But complete wing-back on support. That was Kroll. Defensive midfield, this is the only tweak that I've made. We did start with a 4-3-3, and then in a friendly against Argentina, we just had a lot of runners coming through here. So I did have this role here as a central midfielder on defend, and we've just changed it to a defensive midfielder on defend. This would have been Win Janssen, former Celtic manager, would just be there. Very good technically, but was pretty solid, pretty strong in the tackles, even though he wasn't the biggest. Into the midfield, this was Nieskins, I think an Ajax great. Central midfield on attack, and then we've got the heartbeat of the team, a player that I hadn't actually heard of up until doing some research for this video. A player that played for Feyenoord called Van Hanegem. Beautiful left foot. There's an argument you could maybe go up attacking advanced playmaker. You could go roaming playmaker. I don't know. You could maybe even go Mazzala, but we've gone roaming playmaker. Tremendous technically on the ball. And then the front three has been the hardest to recreate. Now on the right hand side they had a forward. On the right hand side they had a forward called Johnny Rep, Ajax legend. Now what we've created here, he scored lots of goals at the back stick from crosses from the left hand side. Very good at attacking the ball as well. And then in the player instructions, I've just asked him to sit more narrower so we can get closer to the middle of the pitch. Remember, we're getting the wing-backs round anyway, and we want this to try and recreate more of a front three, more than a lone striker. And also, because we're playing a trequartista up there as well, he will often move around, so we kind of need to make sure that we get one of the wide players going right in on goal and maybe taking up that number 9 slot when the trequartista moves and roams into different positions, and then shoot more often because he was kind of an advanced forward, just hugging the sort of like the right touchline at times. So I do when he gets the opportunity to make sure he's having a strike on goal. And then on the left hand side, another player that I hadn't heard of, Ron Rensen. I think it was Ron Rensenbrink, left footer. Absolute wizard with the ball. Loved to get past people. If you watch a few highlights from the Netherlands team, there was often sort of like little clips to the back stick. Scored a lot of goals as well at club football. I think it was for Club Bruges in Belgium. Never actually played for one of the two big sides, Ajax, Feyenoord, PSV. We're asking him to cross to the far post so we can hopefully get the Johnny Rep on the right-hand side to be coming in, diving at the back stick. And they were asking him to shoot more often when he can. And then this one is the Johan Cruyff. Now, there's people, I've seen lots of sort of like tactic videos on this, and not so much tactic videos but blogs asking him to be an F9, and I just find sometimes the F9 can be a little bit more static and he kind of comes off there and just comes off the shoulder. Well, I wanted this guy, Johan Cruyff, to just move absolutely everywhere. I'll put a little touch map up of his touches during a game against Uruguay in the 1974, courtesy of the tremendous work over at The Analyst. I want him to roam about a little bit more. So we've gone trequartista. In the 1974 World Cup, within the first minute, he was the furthest player back. He picked up the ball here. I think he played it off to a right centre-half who was in these positions here. He then picked it up again, sort of like just in front of the D, and then he went on a jinking run and got a penalty in the first minute. Go and check it out, just so you can see kind of total football at its best. So we want him to roam around as much as possible. So that's why we've got trequartista on attack, and then we've just asked him to hold up the ball just so he can get the ball into his feet. He often would hold the ball up. Johan Cruyff was so comfortable in possession. I just want it, if the ball comes into him, just to hold off, and then hopefully the two attacking players from width, or even the midfielders getting up, the two central midfielders getting up and combining with him. All right, those are the instructions. Moving over to the mentality, we've gone for attacking, in possession, shorter passing with a wide attacking width, standard tempo. I did have it on higher, but I've just brought it back to standard just so we could retain possession a little bit better. Cross early, even though we're playing a trequartista, Johan Cruyff has scored a couple of headers. Johnny Rep was fantastic getting at the back stick as well. So we've got that on, and we've also got be more expressive. We're also hoping that cross early that we can get a runner from midfield at some point getting into the box. Neeskins potentially getting in the box. Be more expressive, obviously. Never time wasting. In transition, counter press, counter. This was the original, not gegenpress, but it was the original get the ball back as quickly as you can. I'll show you a very quick clip now of some pressing from Holland during this era. Okay, so just a way of showing you the amount of pressing that they actually did. This is not based around suiting the match engine, it's what they actually did. Slow the pace down with the goalkeeper. And I've just asked for that, just so we can get our shape. The goalkeeper will get the ball down. I'm hoping that will slow it down, so then he's the opportunity. I'm always worried that if he distributes quickly, he's just going to punt it forward a little bit too much. We're asking him to play out to our two ball-playing centre-halves, and we're asking him to roll it out. Out of possession, getting the ball back as much as we can, so we've proper gone for it. The high defensive line, remember the offside rules in the 70s were a lot different. Even when players were not interfering with play, if they were offside, they were often classed as offside. So we're going to play the offside line high as we can, forcing the opposition outside when we can, use the offside chop as I said, much higher line of engagement, much higher defensive line, use tighter marking. I'm hoping that just helps us with the press. Trigger press much more often, just so we're constantly on it. This is the high level of physical ability. I think if you're going to use this tactic in your saves, you need to make sure you have a very strong squad. Have a very strong squad so you can do a lot of rotations. I think over the course of the season, your players will get tired, so rotate when you can and get stuck in. Even though it was a beautiful style of football, there were still players that would like to mix it up. It is the 70s, players in particular, the centre halves, the defenders, Wim Jansen as well, would like to put his foot in and get hold of the ball. Okay, that is the tactic. Let me know your thoughts. We're just going to now look very quickly at a few little clips. As I said, I've won the World Cup, beating England in the final, but I'm just going to show you a few little clips to show you how it looks. Right, okay, the first highlight is a press. We win the ball. This was my first game in charge, and Memphis Depay scored all 5 playing as a trequartista. I just think the only thing that really held me back in terms of the team is that, obviously the defenders in the current national squad are absolutely fantastic. It's just those front positions that I think they're not got that absolute world-class player yet. So we've kind of gone with a Gapco. I believe this is Depay, and then on the right-hand side, we've gone Jan Juma. We've also played Berghaus and other players. But here is the first goal, just an idea of the amount of press. So as you can see, the players are pretty high as it is. Ball into the midfield, we press. Who is that? That's De Jong, so that's the roaming playmaker coming in, winning the ball, or trying to win the ball, shall we say. I think it's Depay. Yeah, Depay nicks it as a trequartista and fires it in. So there you go, pressing from the front very quickly. Rinus Michels was adamant, let's get the ball back as quickly as we can. So then they, as Netherlands, could then control the game. They wanted possession, so the idea was that we got it back, the ball back as quickly as we possibly could. And here we've just got a little switch. All right, there's the complete wing back on support, getting forward. Lovely ball into Bergwijn, who would have been playing the winger, I think, in this game. He's got nice and high as well on attack. And then, as we expect, Loads of crosses. And what I do like as well, the trequartista, he kind of drifts around, but then when the ball is in these attacking areas and in these thirds, he makes sure, because he's the number 9, he makes sure he gets in the box. Johan Cruyff was actually pretty good at getting in at the near post, getting into the penalty area and scoring plenty of goals. And then this one's a good one. We're just going to watch the movement of the trequartista. He comes in, he gets involved, he faces it. He could have actually gone, I think Johan Cruyff would have probably gone for a run there, but he gets involved with the midfields. But what I do like, once again, is movement. We've obviously got the quality of Frankie de Jong playing the Roman playmaker. And look, the space that he had created by sucking the defenders in to come and get him, he's now span off into, he's on the end of it, and he scores a wonderful, wonderful goal. And anyway, just a little high. We don't actually score from this, but I just wanted to show the defender on stopper. Look how aggressive we finally come. There is obviously the holding midfielder, the other centre-half. Full-backs, wing-backs getting on, and there is the play. Look how high we've got all of the players. We've literally got everybody into the opposition half, and even Virgil van Dijk, the defender, is actually coming into a position where he could create, well, maybe even create, but get involved in the attacking phase. And if we speed it on just a little bit, once again, we just show the defender. I think this is so good at helping when you're playing maybe against a team with a low block. If you've got a defender on stopper who can really break the lines, find passes, just like that, creating things, moving in, even if it means just moving in sort of like 10, 15 yards, getting involved, he'll get the ball again. Lovely pass. It does help, that ball-playing defender on stopper. He needs to be good at dribbling, I think, and also decent at passing. I think De Vries obviously has that. We've created a nice little chance there, to be fair, at the end. But there you go, boys. All right, so Total Football is there for you. Plug it in. Let me know how it gets on for you. Smash a like on today's video. And, of course, as always, let me know down in the comments which iconic tactic you would like to see next. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. See you later.